we're going to upgrade some towers, and we're going to use the merchant to do it. At the start of each round, 10% of your coins will be saved as interest and carried over to the next level, up to 150. Plus, we get a lot of these coin blocks, so we're going to make extra money. So we just build up a lot of money and we'll be unstoppable. I'm going to take this because it has a lightning tower. And Ember Guardian, your fire source will be surrounded by 4 buff tiles with random effects. That's going to help keep me safe. Well, since I assume we're going to be killing a lot of areas in this ballpark, we're going to try and put a tower down somewhere right here. Or maybe even back here to stop them from getting close at all. Then we're going to start with the lightning tower because that has that beautiful AoE we love. Then we're going to turn its damage and fire rate up. And then I'm going to place another block right here, but we can start the next wave anyway. I'm not particularly worried about what's coming our way, especially when we have the chain lightning guys coming on, so they're absolutely going to blast them for easy money. I'm also going to throw in a frost tower right here to help us slow the enemies down so they get further slowed and lightning from these guys. So we're going to jump right into the next wave and see how this goes. They should get lightning very badly. The big guy almost actually made it through, so we're going to need just a touch more damage. No problem so far though, and look at all that extra money we get. We do also have a poison dart tower. I'm going to throw that there, and we're just going to give it a little bit of extra damage, and I'm going to try and get him to focus on the strongest idiots. That way they'll take poison. They have a long ways to walk with that poison. I'm also going to put a few blocks right here that are going to force the enemies to have to get a little bit creative with their own strategy. And then we're going to put a chain lightning tower over here, and it's going to get higher multi-target. I gotta remember to try and save up some money for the end of this. The further out into the red we push, the better off we're gonna be. Okay, the poison's already working high HP guy, then the lightning tower should finish him off rather nicely. Yeah, so far so good, and we're gonna make a lot of coins. AoE is the key to my heart. Just for fun, I'm going to put another multi-target high damage lightning tower right here. I do maybe want to push just a little bit further out. That's fine. You know what? We'll be able to take on this wave. Almost didn't see the treasure chest. We'll take the coins for sure, just because we can definitely use the coins going into the next level. That guy went ahead and stalled out one of the towers. The poison tower is definitely getting on him quick though. Then I gotta walk through a whole bunch of chain lightning. A lot of it. Wow, that's actually a very strong wave. I'm gonna add another frost tower there. They're gonna get extra damage. I still don't think anyone's actually gonna make it all the way in, but they certainly got closer than I would have thought they would have. So I think we're gonna carry 44 over with us if I'm understanding this correctly. 10% of your coins will be saved, so the more we have at the end of the wave, the more this gets shuffled away. But just to be sure, that we're gonna make lots of coins and do lots of damage, we're gonna put a few more lightning towers in a few good spots. And these are all sitting on coin blocks basically. We're not taking extra damage or attack speed, we simply want coins. And that should do well. We got lots more towers now, so less of them can and will be stunned. Poison tower will get back to hitting the big idiots. I'm going to put another one of these towers here actually. They're going to focus on the highest HP and do more damage. You can just never be too careful. And then at the end of this, 10% of this should go into that number and we'll carry that forward to the next level. Look at them all coming in. Wow, there's actually a lot of them. I might actually have to build just one more tower. And this one is going to have more damage and fire rate, but I think that was maybe unnecessary. I just got nervous. So there we go. 342 plus once we kill this guy, we'll get a little bit more money perhaps. And then we'll get to carry that over. And this is one of the new towers, the Thunder Tower. Summons a powerful lightning strike and deals damage to monsters within large areas. The damage evenly distributed amongst all enemies. Yes. And then we can get Static Shocker. When a monster's charge effect is triggered, it also takes electric damage equal to 10% of current HP, 3% for bosses. That's good because we have a lot of electric. So to begin, we have $114 and this level looks like it could be interesting. We've definitely got enemies coming in from both sides, so I think I actually want to try and just block one side off entirely and force them all to the other side. We're going to sacrifice a few blocks to do this. Chain lightning there, it's going to be a multi-target. I'm also going to put one there. That's probably also going to be a chain lightning with multi-target to be sure to hit lots of idiots as soon as we can afford it. The first wave's nice and easy anyway. Even my fire can attack these little things. It probably could have actually killed it all by itself without any issue at all. They even dropped me a treasure chest. That was nice of them. We'll probably just take the extra coins every time we can. 39 left over, so that gave us, 4 coins there. Okay, so I'm going to put a block there. That way the greater attack speed thing is sitting right there. And then we're going to turn that right there because this will be a 3x3 later for our big boy tower. Because I definitely want to try this right away. We got a discount on it too. So it does 200 damage in a giant area and it fires very quickly. That's going to be a lot of fun. Now we actually got to put some other towers as well. Maybe a slowing tower. We'll put that somewhere right here because all monsters sort of have to go through that anyway. It gives me so much time to figure out what I want to build next. And I generally don't think at all. So it's pretty easy for me really. I do sort of want to change things around over here. Even that's okay because this will be a money earning thing. But our big lightning tower is finally ready to get started. and it's doing 200 damage if it's only a single enemy. I think aside from that, it distributes among all the enemies, but that's obviously why it's very dangerous. So these two should be 100 each. Yep. I'm going to put lightning tower in the damage one, and he's going to get fire rate and higher damage anyway. That way he can just chain around all there. Poison tower, we're going to put poison towers just right near the beginning of where the enemies spawn from. Basically just spawn camping. They can just sit right there and absolutely higher HP. And so far it is single-handedly destroying all of the enemies coming from that side, but we are getting enemies on the other side this time. Now we're getting something big coming out, but it's got to tick through a lot of poison damage. Sandworm, we're going to one-shot that with our giant electricity tower. This could be good too, because the range goes up, but hit monsters' energy charging effects are instantly maxed out and triggered. And we have that card that I think plays off of that, so that's going to be good. Okay, these guys are going to come in, but I'm pretty sure this tower is going to start one-shotting them as they cross that threshold. That's going to make it nice and easy for us. Ooh, this has an electric boost rune on it, so we'll place that down somewhere good. So the big tower doesn't attack super often, but that's going to be super good for bosses, especially when we increase its range. So I've got a spot ready for the big 3x3. It'll put there, so it's going to get an extra 50% attack power. I also need to put one of these somewhere over here, just so I can start poisoning things sooner. And we'll put a poison tower there as soon as we can afford it. They're not very expensive. So we've got thorn balls coming in. The big electric tower has already started to hit them with quite a bit of damage wherever it lands its shot. And once things get closer, they're going to start to get chain lightning really, really badly. So this seems like it's going to be, and everything builds up there, so the big tower hits everything. Okay, they're actually getting a little bit close. Can you guys be sure to actually take those out? Uh-oh. Was that going to make it in? That might make it in. Okay, second tower is going in. Its fire rate is going to go up when we can afford it. We do need a poison tower over here to start chiseling away at the high HP enemies. And I guess if the poison's going to tick away over time, we might as well sort of make their route in a little more zigzagged. And that's just going to take the enemies obviously longer to get to us. And the longer they take to get to us, the more poison damage they take. Okay, basically I put another poison tower there, so these things should tick away with poison damage over time with the long walk in, and same with things from this side. And then as enemies try and get closer, they're going to be met with a lot more damage and resistance. I'm also going to throw one of these down, maybe... Oh, they got to go all the way around if I put this here. That's actually perfectly fine to do it that way. Plus we got all these towers showing up that are going to... those are just junk towers that hang out for this round. Big tower is doing some big damage. I hit it with a speed up card as well, so it's going to attack very, very, very quickly. And we're also going to give it another 10% fire rate on top of that, so it can fire every 0.33 seconds. So that thing got blasted for 300 single damage. So to smooth out this wave a little bit, I am going to put a lightning tower there on the money dropper, and a lightning tower there on the money dropper. That'll just help to smooth things out as they come in, because they're going to get poisoned, so they'll slowly be ticking away if anything does survive. But the poison will just help to clear out a lot of little things here and start chiseling away on them. And that's help thinning out some of the little things, so then there's more damage to be had over here. But they're already getting in the way of the lightning, so they're eating big damage. And in fact, if I want another one of those, I will shortly have the space to build another one. If I just put that in somewhere there. One more big tower, did that fit? Good enough for me. I've also used a card to make an arcane storm on this, I guess. I don't really know what that does. I should have read that first. But I figured it'd be a lot of fun. Then everything's got to walk through all of the lightning damage. The lightning effects feel pretty good so far. There's a Scorpion King coming in. He has 532 HP. Not sure he's poisoned right now, but we can certainly fix that. We'll get a little bit of extra fire rate to make sure he's getting... Okay, never mind. He got wrecked from lightning towers. I think the best way might be one of these. We'll put a greater speed rune on one of these. That way, if we set one of the big towers on top of that, it attacks that much quicker. So we got another electric tower. This is also a new one. It basically lassos a monster and holds it still and dealing damage. So if we can hold the big one still, we can drop the big thing on top of its head. Then we're going to do Focus Prism. Each non-critical hit by a tower increases its critical hit chance by 5%. So we're going to get a lot more crits. So this level's got some bone wall, they call it. Okay, the first thing I want to do is get started on what's going to be my big tower spot. That's going to have double runes. But big tower is going to go there, and I think it's going to get the extra fire rate for sure, which is definitely going to help it. This is also going to be a focus point for the enemies, so we're going to put a lightning tower there for sure, and we'll upgrade it as soon as we can. This one's going to be a big money earner, especially at the beginning. In fact, we're going to have it up to more damage and fire rate. And then we're going to start to make it more annoying for the monsters to get through all that. So we're going to start to push them back and forth and all sorts of weird things. I'm also going to do my poison tower over here, just to be sure that it's poisoning lots of good things. It'll always target these big guys. So they have 109 HP. They tick for 1 poison damage per second. I don't know if that stacks. They can barely go underground, but they inevitably get into the range of the big tower, and that's going to be bad news for them. Let's also try one of the lasso towers, because I feel like that's going to be good. And we're going to sell it to the highest HP monster. That way whatever's got the most HP is going to get a little bit slowed down or stun locked. And then the big towers will eventually rain down absolute lightning storms on top of them. It's crazy how much damage it does. Like 200 damage is enough to one-shot that thing from full health. So that thing's currently tethered, so it's getting lightninged, and eventually we'll have another big lightning tower there to rain down on it. And by soon, I mean right now. Oh, do we need to... There we go. That thing's got a massive range too. And all the enemies tend to bunch up in this area, so they're definitely going to get hit by big damage. They're going to share the load, but it's a lot of load to share. Down here, I am going to pick its damage up, so that way if anything does get through, and then this thing can also reach there, so the more we can slow enemies down here, the better. This should about do it. We've also got a greater speed boost tile right here that I wanted to put a lightning tower on. Since this thing's going to attack really fast, we're going to increase its damage and fire rate a little more. That way it can super chain lightning. That seems to be working well. I haven't yet upgraded my original big tower. We can increase the range though, so they have a lot of overlap between the two monster towers. I was a little bit curious, if I put a big tower there, does the damage go up? So the damage here is 200, it's 223 because of what it's sitting on, which is perfectly fine by me. So now there's got two of these giant lightning colossal things landing right here, doing a whole bunch of AoE, a stupid amount of AoE. That's going to really wreck things. The enemies are making it quite a ways in though, but there are a lot of enemies to be fair. I do feel like we should be taking advantage of these poison towers though, because I really feel like if they stack their poison, which I think they do, they will really get a good thing going. So I went crazy on poison towers. We did leave ourselves with $100 still, which is plenty. The poison does stack. I saw big globs coming off, or maybe their enemies were just too small and it just ticked away their health more. That could also be a thing. I don't know, we got a lot of poison, we got a lot of things going out, including a treasure chest. 30 coins. Well, they are making it closer to the end, but then they gotta contend with this guy who's gonna land 200 electric damage down on top of them. So they're kind of boned by the time they get there no matter what. I only put down a few more poison towers because I feel like we can save a bunch of money and that's gonna roll over to the next round anyway. We are fighting magma elements. They have 1300 HP, but they're also going to be melted to poison and giant explosions. They did knock out a few of my towers, but my towers can sit way back here and still hit them. So we're perfectly fine. That AoE is lovely. It's absolutely wrecking everything. Look at the poison tick away even on these big guys. Okay, they have 469 health and the poison absolutely wrecks them. I don't know how long the poison lasts for, but look at it go. That thing took more poison damage than anything. We did find another electric lightning ball tower. Cannot rotate, but this fires a big orb straight down a straight path. When your tower crits, deal 50% of the damage is arcane damage to the highest HP monster within 10 tiles. So that's going to work its way up to whatever the boss is on the map. So this place is going to have orc totems. Monsters in their range receive 10% of their max HP per second. So we definitely want to kill them, you know, not there. So I think the wisest thing to do is going to start with that thunder tower that's going to instantly destroy everything anyway. But just in case it doesn't, we're going to put a lightning tower down there with bigger multi-target. I could have been reading more of what they're actually going to send our way, but I'm pretty sure these little guys are not going to like what's about to happen. That one just took 200 damage. That one also got chain lightning. These two are about to die. And that last one is, well, spoiler alert, he's about to die. We're also going to try out the new lightning tower. He's going to fire straight down that little strip, and he's going to do a lot automatically fire. Okay, we're going to let the next wave come in. I put another lightning chain tower right here on a coin thing. We'll put something on a greater speed boost tile that's going to be quite powerful also. Probably a lasso thing. That way we can get lassoed right into range of the lightning ball tower. So let's see how this is all going to work in conjunction. I think the lightning ball tower is going to be really good because it's just going to be constant damage to everything going here. So we'll put lots of frost towers here to slow them down as well. In fact, that's going to be on the super fast thing, so that's going to do extra range. So he's constantly going to be slowing down right in that guy's range. This thing's also going to get +5 damage. We just need a little more slowing action somewhere in here. Once this thing also gets its extra fire rate, it's also going to give all enemies there a much higher crit chance. Oh, they're all getting wrecked right here. That's a really good spot for everything. So far I've got a pretty good setup even though it's a completely straight line. But sometimes the best lines are straight lines. Okay, the lasso tower is going down and we're going to do extra damage maybe. So that should hopefully hold things right in range of that guy who's going to absolutely wreck. And then there's a few basic lightning towers are going to go out here where they're just going to add a little bit of damage but also some extra earnings. Okay, we had a berserker guy coming in who stunned one of the towers, but that's going to be of little help to him. This is going to get extra damage. We'll put a lightning tower right next to it that's maybe just going to have the higher fire rate one. Multi-target. Yeah, it could be a multi-target. We want to hit lots of things here, and they're all wrecked. I've kind of got a fun plan that we will soon enact. I'm also going to put one of these right here because this is also going to be really funny because I can just turn and fire this backwards. So they're going to have 2 of the lightning orbs going right down this strip. So everything in this is going to be absolutely having a bad time. We get some bigger idiots coming in. I feel like they're not really going to be much of a problem. We're also going to automatically or increase the damage of those. Dead. 238 left over. At the start of this wave, we simply put one of these big towers here. We're going to increase his fire rate just so we can hit lots of things in the range because he's still going to be destroying people way out here. He's going to get deactivated there for a second, but he's not the only tower everyone has to worry about. And everything's going to get bunched up here really badly too, so there's going to be a major jam up of damage and all sorts of things going on, really. I'm also going to force all the enemies to one side. Not really sure why, doesn't really matter. We're also going to put another lasso down there. That way you can hopefully hold things in the good area right here. That's really all I did for this wave. I changed very, very little. My poison towers aren't going to be much use, at least still here. They could still poison things really, really badly, but I wanted to see how this wave would go before I decided we needed any further upgrades or not. So far, things seem to be just fine. We're not struggling at all. Yeah, we weren't even close to struggling one little bit. That thing's going to explode and deactivate towers for a second, but we're fine. And we've already maxed out the amount of money we can bring with us next wave. I'm going to put another one of the big towers down. We're going to give it a little more range just to make sure it can always hit, but like, its range is huge. And then to be extra mean, I'm just straight up going to put another one of those towers down with extra fire rate. So the first idiot that walked through took a very quick 600 damage, which is a lot. That tower is temporarily stunned, but now they're all going to start sharing a whole bunch of damage again. And look at all that money roll in. It's a shame we can only bring 150 over to the next level, otherwise that would be really broken. This was the final wave. We're kind of making it look alarmingly easy at this point. Things still are electricity. I guess we'll take a missile tower at this point. It is electric, so we'll stick with electric. This is interesting. Towers not attacking for more than 5 seconds will 100% critical hit on the next attack. That's going to be good for my big towers that tend to take a breather. This is an interesting level with a lot of straight lines, and we can work with straight lines. So if I put that there, and then I can put my lightning ball tower going straight down that, that's bad news for everyone here. And because of all the money I had, starting over, we can already afford to put one of our big stupid towers down. And we can get that an enormous amount of range, or we can just put it right there. The enemies have a long ways to travel. I don't know how far out there I can build right now. That looks like enemy territory, but we already destroyed that way out there. Yeah, that tower doesn't mess around. It can hit basically anything anywhere. So let's just go ahead and do another one of those down with all those bonuses underneath it. So we're more or less spawn camping 2 of them because we can reach all the way down their lane, and that's going to hit for big damage. And it's also going to do that whole arcane thing nearby too if they're critical hitting. I'm honestly not sure I'm going to need more than these towers for a little bit just because they're doing such massive damage and their AoE is extending so much damage. I'm going to do one of the new missile towers. That's a 2x2. We're going to put it right there where it's going to do lots of damage. You know what? Let's go with 2 of those. They have massive range themselves, which helps me feel better. Let's do converts to ice damage and converts to ice damage. It's also funny how the game's going to make the enemies walk past these so we can just fire on them from way back here if we want to. Yeah, I don't know why, I just think it'd be really funny to put poison things on these little things just so when the idiots are going by, they're just going to get a little bit poisoned as an insult. And I guess since we got another straight line, I might as well put one of those in because they're just going to be firing both down the way. Just in case something does make it to manage to make it through, I'm going to put a lasso tower there. That way it's going to stop anything in its tracks and get wrecked. So here's everyone trying to make it through. They're currently getting massively bombed and they're also getting a little bit poisoned. And they've got a long ways to walk while being poisoned. So I feel like we're in pretty good shape here. Well, they are going to actually make it a little bit closer for once, but then they've got to contend with all the missiles and lightning bridge. Well, at least this will be interesting. The enemies won't just die basically as they spawn. They'll actually make it a little bit further. If we put one of these big towers down on something that's got 2 greater speed boosts, does that double stack? Its fire rate is 0.25 per second, so I think that actually does. Well, whatever the case, they're going to fire a lot of damage out. The enemies don't really have a choice. They're just going to get absolutely bombed. This tower did get stunned like that, so it didn't get all of its shots off, but that's perfectly fine. That poison really is ticking away too. By the time they make it to the missiles, they're basically dead. Oh look, they did make it all the way to here. They got missile once they did, and they've still got to contend with at least 3 of the enormous towers. Wave 7, I've added a few lightning towers. They should be able to reach just down these lanes. That way they can get a little bit more damage going out. I don't know if that one's going to make it or not. Doesn't look like it. It's just there to look good for now. But the lightning just blasting down these strips is certainly going to hurt a lot as well. They are getting closer and closer. That kind of gives me a fun idea that we could do next as well. Oh, look at these guys. They actually made it to the Bridge of Doom. I didn't think anyone would actually make it this far. But now that they're here, they're absolutely boned because they're going to be focused by a million different towers. This guy's tough. Oh, he has 1000 HP, that's why. I think he explodes and stuns towers, or he just self-destructs, which is very useful. Okay, we're just going to make a brick, but I'm going to put a lightning ball tower and extra damage straight down that. And then I'm going to do the same thing in that direction. We're just going to increase both of their damage, so they're doing lots to go up there. I've used the range up on some of my towers, in particular this one. Look how big that is. It could basically hit the entire level. And look at these guys. Because of their position too, they may not fire for 5 seconds, so they'll definitely do a lot of crits. And also just straight up electric damage. I think all the enemies have finally spawned in. They're not even really make it to the Doom Bridge yet. They're just getting as far as here before getting lightning strike to oblivion. I'm sad I'm not making more money, but $750 is still pretty good. And we get to start the next level with 150. I think an Earthquake Tower would actually pair pretty nicely now. Because it briefly stuns the monsters walking past, and if they all group up, my big towers will bomb them. This is a bit of a similar layer. The monsters are going to have space up here where they recharge, but that's not really going to affect us that much now, is it? I have stacked up in a reasonable amount of different things here. Hopefully those do all stack properly the way I think they do. Fire rate times 3. This tower is going to be a destroyer. And I'm going to put a good old-fashioned super target lightning tower right there, just to be sure. The hardest part is just going to be waiting for enemies to actually make it all the way down their lanes. They're so big. But here they come now, and wouldn't you know it, there's 2 of them. There's 400 damage and he's dead. Oh yeah, they do work. Look at all 5 stacks on this guy. He's going to be the moneymaker. I'm also going to put the Earthquake Tower here. And it's also going to do this, so it's going to get bigger range, and it's going to resonate with other Earthquake Towers. I'm just going to press play again. I don't really think it's going to matter what we do at this point. We've got some pretty good towers. Although this could be interesting. Wow, that was a lot of damage for a single shot. So the Earthquake Tower is definitely going to slow them down. And here it's going to be a little bit interesting. I think it's still going to destroy them because it stops them. Then that has a chance for that to do everything. That Earthquake Tower is really strong. So I think I want to put another one of those and do the same thing. They can resonate with each other. So the more there are, the more damage they do. And then I just got to block off this spot right here. And then the enemies have to go right around this Earthquake Tower. I'm also just going to put a basic lightning tower here on this money spot to help thin them out. So then we'll see how this works. We need just a little bit of money, and then we're going to turn up its damage and fire rate. That way it's sure to do lots. So far the combination of towers seems effective. We do get a very nice variety of towers throughout all this. Alright, time for another Earthquake Tower, $76. As soon as we get that, we will go ahead and upgrade that. So 12 damage, 14 damage, 12 damage. Alright, so let's keep an eye on the Earthquake Towers to see how these are going to go. So far we already killed whatever that was. We'll take a Coin Hunter thing, that way we can just put a Coin Hunter on whatever that, and that'll make us some extra money this round. So far things are having trouble making it past the Earthquake Towers. If they do, they get hit by the big lightning thing, plus they have this lightning tower also to contend with. Right here, I'm also going to put a Frost Tower. That way if they do try and get away from the Earthquake Towers, they're going to have to get slowed down a little bit. I decided it'd be really funny to do another one of these enormous towers. We're going to put it right there and give it extra attack speed. That's also just going to destroy everything, especially with that extra range. So as the enemies start to come in, they've got to contend with giant lightning strikes. And then the Earthquake Towers are definitely going to mess them up. We're down to the Sandworms now. They're getting earthquaked really hard because they can hardly move at that point. So what we need is another Earthquake Tower here. Now the damage is going up even more. And we're going to start the next wave. That way we're sure to get a nice bonus to our coins, because we want to start the next level with 150 for sure. Enemies do seem to be struggling to get past Earthquake Alley. These are great because they just do even damage across all of the enemies. Ooh, look at the size of that. There was a big worm. No, maybe I was just zoomed in more than normal. I don't know. It's dead whatever the case. That's all that really matters. And finishing off the level, we got the boost to 150. So now that we got some money to work with, another Earthquake Tower. And you guessed it, another Earthquake Tower. So that's up to 19 damage. I think they start at 8, so that's absolutely absurd. I'm not feeling particularly troubled about the wave ahead. I'm going to put a little Frost Tower in right here just to help slow them down in Earthquake Alley. I don't think anything's going to make it through. We're just doing this on fast forward. There is a bigger worm. It has 1100 HP. So that means as it goes past the healing zone, it's putting a lot of HP back on. Oh yeah, I forgot they can go underground, but the big lightning tower is going to destroy it as soon as it pops back out. So yeah, if they have lots of HP and sit in the healing zone, obviously they regenerate really, really quickly. But once they get here, they pop right back out in Earthquake Alley. This sounds fun. It's a poison tower. It just pours poison on the enemies. Now it's time for the boss level, so we see what kind of layout we got to deal with. Okay, so to begin, they're giving us all sorts of things. I will actually take a greater speed rune here. Money's not as important initially, but 30 coins is nice. So if that's the boss, apparently like every few waves, it's going to clear up more and more trains so the enemies have more space to get to us. I think it would be silly not to put one of our enormously damaging towers right here, and then make the enemies have to walk a little bit around in our range. Just in case they do make it through, we're going to put a missile tower there as soon as we can get the space for it. Oh, that's a lot of little enemies. Hold on, we might need a chain lightning tower. We might be okay because I forgot the fire can actually attack. Oh yeah, and this is such big AoE anyway. It's going to destroy basically everything there. Maybe that guy's going to make it in actually. Uh-oh. Okay, we're going to put you there and multi-target. Come on, you can do it. Don't let anyone in. Okay, I think that one got in. I just added a few chain lightning towers to what we did. I laid a few blocks down here for future considerations, let's call them. So let's see how this is going to play out now. Now that we get some chain lightning going down combined with the big damage, it should hopefully stop them way back there. I forgot we can also spend money to draw cards too, which could have been helpful already, depending on what we get, but that one will work nicely because we put that there. Then we put one of our big towers right here, and he's on all sorts of stuff as soon as we get just a little more money. So the cannons went off, pushed the enemies back, so we got a little more space to breathe. I saw a treasure chest, so that's going to get us all sorts of things we might want. I swear I had a better plan than what you're seeing here, but anyways, we're going to put our first earthquake tower down and just get to it. That'll help slow things down. Then we'll give it a little extra attack speed on the frost tower, and we're going to put another frost tower over here for a little extra range to help slow them down. The earthquake tower will eventually do its damage. That'll be a strong little spot. I'm setting it up really poorly, but don't worry, it'll be good. Because now we can put this big guy right here. He's got lots of range and he can reach next earthquake alley. Plus I can also sneak one of these in because then we can put a lightning ball tower straight down that strip. And a good time will be had by all. I'm pretty sure eventually the boss is probably going to walk straight down the path now that I look at it, but I'm pretty sure by the time he gets to the end, our massive towers will be able to destroy him. The lightning towers seem to be doing good so far. This still needs its upgrade for $62. We'll wait for all this to clear out. My giant explosives will take care of that pretty shortly, I think. And got him. So the boss got pushed back a little bit more. Ooh, what can we put up there? So we might be able to build off of that electricity if we're smart. I think we can absolutely get away with putting that there. And then we're going to have a bigger fire right there. So that's going to do tons of damage. I'm just going to put a frost tower here to try and hold things at range of that. And then we're going to get started. This guy's going to do a lot of damage to things right here. He's basically spawn camping them. A lot of our things are sort of spawn camping. Well, the enemies are making it a little bit more. But once they start touching the earthquake zones, then they're really going to start to take extra damage. We have exploding idiots there. But I have such range towers, it doesn't really matter what they do. I do want to take advantage of this little spot here that I built. I just feel bad that I don't. And we're going to do an extra 5 missiles. Yeah, one more of these big towers because I think they're going to be good against the boss. We're in wave 6 and 9 right now. Then after that, we're probably going to go mostly earthquake towers. The missiles are already doing their thing for sure. The missiles feel so weak compared to these big shots. These do so much. It's once I get to here that the chaos really starts to happen, and I think that's largely actually the earthquake tower. I think that is really, really strong. So Idiot goes back a little further, and what are all these? That's kind of interesting. So the monster killed on those will explode and cause fire damage. This is really dumb, but I'm really dumb. So we're going to put lots of poison things here because the enemies have to walk right down that strip. So if they get enough poison and they die, they're going to explode. Plus they can waste all their effects up here. So you're going to explode and everyone else is going to explode and we're going to have lots of explosions basically. And then they really quickly get in range of this, which is really bad news for them because this tower does not mess around. I'm also going to slot an earthquake tower in down here. I think that's a pretty nice spot for one. And it's got lots of boosts on it. And while we're at it, an earthquake tower just across the way. And then we're ready to get started. So we're going to start with some fire explosions for all these idiots. That should be fine. And I need to put a frost tower somewhere here, maybe 2. They're not that expensive, so we should be able to afford that fairly readily, just so things can slow down here. I just want things to go really slowly through our earthquake zone presently. But we're doing lots of good AoE. Oh, this guy didn't get upgraded yet. That's very sad. The earthquake towers are starting to destroy. They're doing 12 damage each. We've had higher, but that's still plenty for them. Cannons fired. The boss got knocked back into Crazy Land. Alright, so I'm going to squeeze another earthquake tower in here with lots of boosts on it. And then over here, we're going to have an electric and attack speed and other thing boost. So once we're ready to go, we're ready to go. So now the boss is coming. He's got apparently 17,600. He's already very hurt. I'm not entirely sure how or what we did to that. Then again, I'm not really sure it's going to matter. Especially once they get to here. Earthquake Alley and everything. There's just going to be a lot of damage going out. The boss is at 5,500 HP. I think we're going to whittle that down actually quite quickly. There are a lot of enemies coming in, but they're also really dying quickly. I'm also just adding whatever effects are to whatever towers and hopes that they'll be something useful. So far they seem to be. The boss is down to 1,000 HP. Yeah, the boss is down to 1,000 HP. There's a bunch of other things over here that seem to be surviving not bad, which is a bit of a surprise, but the boss is dead and so is everything else. Using the power of massive electricity.